I'm going to squeeze in a few more questions. This is from George Mason University's Richard Williams. On the one hand, the President has expressed concern over federal spending, that we must control it as we reach historic debt levels, which will ultimately have to be paid for by American taxpayers. While there may be important issues to deal with through regulation, cost of those regulations will also be passed on to American consumers. Will or should control over regulatory costs also be part of the administration's agenda?
It's an interesting question, and my real brief answer would be no. I look at these issues from the, my prism of experience of the Consumer Product Safety Commission. I don't think the CPSC has ever issued anything where the benefits didn't way outweigh the costs in any way that it was looked at. All I can say is I think in 2007, we all witnessed what happens when the regulatory cop is taken off the beat. And the American public doesn't like it. Right. It doesn't matter what party they are in or where they live in the country. They don't want to feed their pets food that are going to kill their pets. And they don't want to feed their children food or give them prescription medicine that are going to harm or kill them because they're contaminated. And they certainly don't want to give their toddlers plastic toys that the kids put in their mouths that are going to give them lead poisoning. And they are the public looks to the government to prevent precisely those kinds of things that you cannot prevent on your own. You can't look at pet food and know that it's going to be harmful to your pet. Somebody else has to do that for you as a consumer. And that is precisely, just like we look to our government to have police protection on the street, we look to our government to protect us from hidden hazards like that. And I think that the government, at its peril, shortchanges the regulatory process either through by restricting the taxpayer money that funds these agencies, or by looking at the quote-unquote regulatory costs of these kinds of protections at its peril, because it always will come back to haunt them, and then it's too late to throw money at the problem, which is what often happens. But that's too late for a lot of consumers, not only for the people who get injured, but for the trust of consumers in their workplaces or in their marketplace.